1, 2, you hear the clock ticking, tick tock. You about to stop living, tick tock. I want you to remember me, tick tock. But the day don't have no memory. I'm coming. Nobody can stop me, nobody can hold me, nobody control me. I'm coming. I'm here to do my thing, I'm here to bring the pain. I'm never ever gonna change. I'm coming.
What is up, people? It is me. It is MVP. Back with you with another episode of the most valuable podcast. My guest, my man T Aytch. I'm out here in Sydney, man.
What's up? Finally,
man. We spoke about this a while ago, man. I just knew that next time I'm in Sydney, I was gonna hit you up. Well, you actually hit me up, but I knew that you were the guy I wanted to sit down and chat with.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for making the time, bro.
Nah, thank you for your time. I'm more than grateful.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's nice meeting you too. This is the first time I'm meeting you. We've been talking a lot on social media.
Yeah.
But finally sit down and meet with you. It's dope, man. It's dope. How long have you been living in Sydney, man?
About 7 years now. Yeah,
7?
going on to 7 years, yeah.
Where did you move from originally?
I moved from New Zealand in South Auckland.
Nice.
So Mandurewa, so shout out to the fans there.
Yeah, same. 275 is over there, man.
275.
So you moved from New Zealand, Sydney. Was Sydney, you and your family moved here?
Yeah, so me and my mom and my sister moved over first, and then dad came along. Moved in with my auntie. I was doing really well in footy, so they were doing a bit of scouting over in New Zealand.
Right.
When I was playing rugby union, and then the dream was to be a rugby league player in NRL, but things are a bit different now. Yeah.
Nice. That's dope. And you get to Sydney, you try to chase the dream of the NRL player, and then now you find music.
Yeah. So it was a bit and ahhing, like with music. When I was in school, I always knew I was passionate with songwriting.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like rapping or singing or anything like that. I was more passionate on like coming up with poetry and things that had like deeper meanings and different types of layers, and people seeing it from this angle and someone else seeing it from this angle. You know what I mean? I was stuck into poems that would seem like it's a sad thing, but at the end had like a plot twist and I was happy, like that type of stuff. So, but it was never the goal. It was just something that I did in my spare time. People would do if they would love drawing or stuff like that. That was my go-to, to get away from footy for a little bit. But yeah, when I woke up one morning and I wasn't passionate about footy anymore, that was the first thing that came on my mind, to do a bit of songwriting, do a bit of rapping, and singing.
So there was always an interest in music?
Yeah, well, I was never the greatest singer at church. I was aunties would be like, no, shh. Like, you know what I mean? They usually encourage you to sing, but if you got a flat voice, you're alright. So that was me. But I had an interest in music, like just guitar. I used to love sounds and all of that. And then I sort of looked at music as a gateway to talk about my problems. So I'd write it down like a notebook type thing, and like no one would ever like look at it. So just kept it to myself.
Yeah. No, that's dope. Yeah, it's actually cool that you say that, because one of the tracks that actually drew me into you was your track called "I Need Help."
Yeah.
And and the reason why is I'm a message guy.
Yeah.
When it comes to music, I'm like, I want to hear what you're saying, what you're trying to say to me, how I can relate to it, I can resonate. That's how I get interested in artists and how I like songs. And so that one resonated with me because you spoke up on a topic that, especially in our Polynesian community, we're going through it right now, and suicide, and to hear an artist actually want to dedicate a song to that topic, that's what kind of drew me in to you, and I was like, hey man, this guy's actually dope. But like, no one else is doing this.
Yeah, I know.
You know, so when you say that you're using music as a way to like, you know, talk about your problems and stuff like that, because there are other people that are going through it.
Yeah.
That's what I love about what you do.
Nah, man, really grateful for that. With that song, I Need Help. When I was writing the lyrics, I always just had the people that, you know, either passed away from it in my mind, you know, so it would be able to help out with, you know, coming up with this craft that wasn't too exaggerated, you know, got the message across clearly and simple, so that the people that do watch the video know exactly what to do if they're in the same sort of situation. You know what I mean? So I believe that the video itself worked really good wonders on twisting it around and showing the solution at the end. But not only that, it was a massive like pressure off my shoulders. You know, like when I first made that song, there was so much like stuck in here. You know, that was bottled up emotions. As soon as I let go of that song, I was like letting go of, you know, my past that I necessarily don't ever want to revisit. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much where the inspiration comes from, and just being able to make sure that, you know, I do justice for the people that I'm talking about. You know,
and a topic such as that, it's like it's touchy. It's a touchy topic, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing that I enjoyed with hearing you make music to that topic is how you were able to deliver it with so much passion. Like I could tell it means a lot to you just by hearing it I can hear it in your voice. In the video, I can see it visually in the music video, and I thought you did a fantastic job at letting people know this is a serious issue that we are facing right now. Yeah,
for sure. Well, that's the thing, like just a bit of like background on the behind the scenes. A lot of the takes, when I was recording it and stuff, I was actually in tears. And you know, when you go in tears, your voice sort of like croaks up and stuff. There was a lot of times where the producer or the mixer master would be like, oh, can we redo that again to make it cleaner? And that's not what I wanted to come across, you know? I wanted to come across that like, nah, this is genuinely how I sound saying these words. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I'm just happy with the end project. I think throughout the week of the drop, there were so many people that messaged me saying thank you that I've never ever, you know, like even heard of before, and already coming up with their stories and like, oh, I've never been able to tell anyone this, but this is my story, you know, like those messages, like I was just like, man, I don't know if I'm worthy of being able to, you know, be given that, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the people that you open up to are the closest people that you have, you know, or the people in your life that, you know, you would do anything for, you know, and then to have, you know, to have that blessing of people being able to open up about their story and say to me, you know, thank you, like, yeah, it's much more than money can buy, man, much more.
Yeah, it's crazy how that works, eh?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't know you, but here's a person just straight into your DM and like, man, I'm going through this and this.
Yo.
But that's the power of speaking up, because you give confidence to others to not speak up. And the problem is, no one has the courage to speak up.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're talking off air just before, and you're telling me like, you know, we're taught growing up not to cry, you know.
Yeah, so like, you know, when we're younger and stuff, there's a lot of like, even in our younger ages, like 5, 6, 7 years old, whether you're playing footy or you're playing some contact sport, or, you know, you're just involved with family, you know, 24/7. There's a lot of times, especially as, you know, boys growing into men, where we're taught that, you know, you shed a tear, make sure that your family doesn't see that. You know what I mean? If you're gonna shed a tear, make sure it's away from everyone, you know? And then that's what stops majority of our youth not being able to open up to their parents, open up to friends, because they all look at it as if, you know, you're putting on an act or something. you know, when necessarily it's like what you're truly feeling, you know. So I just think, you know, there's a lot of hard upbringings from, you know, our older generations of parents and their parents and stuff like that. And there's a lot of communication, like spaces that need to be filled, you know. It needs to be okay to talk about your feelings, you know. It needs to be okay to say that you don't feel alright. Like, and the amount of times I've gone through my whole life, right up till I was 18, where I was just like, man, I don't even feel great today, you know. I don't even want to get out of bed. But then you just can't even talk to anyone about it because you're scared of being judged, or you're scared of your family disowning you. Like, that stuff plays on your mental in so many different ways, and the type of actions that you take as well, whether you take it out on other people. But yeah, that's my explanation for it.
Yeah. Does that, I guess with that experience, say you've had people come into your DM and tell you, hey, I'm going through this, does that kind of like, I guess, I don't know, maybe open your eyes a little bit to how much you can actually help?
Yeah, definitely.
Help people.
Yeah, so that was the thing, like, when I started getting DMs from people saying, bro, I just listened to your track, I just want to say, man, I had a best friend of mine, you know, that passed away from a similar, you know, sort of situation. It's because of you I'm able to actually talk about it. I've never been able to talk about it, you know. And my first thing that I always mention towards people, especially if they start talking about views or they start talking about, you know, the reach of it, you know, it's just like, this isn't about, you know, the numbers. It's not about, you know, making any profit from it. This is about being able to make sure that my words touches someone, you know. If I woke up the next morning and that, you know, only one person came up to me and said, man, that touched me, bro, then like, I'm happy, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when they DM me, I sort of go, damn, like, it's sad, you know, because I've been in that situation before. I've been in that situation where mum wasn't an option, dad wasn't an option, my little sister wasn't an option, none of my families were an option, not even my friends, because a lot of, like, when I grew up in school, I always, you know, was around the geeky kids, you know. I always liked to be around them because they always hacked into computers and stuff. Like, yeah, in school I wasn't around the sporty dudes. They always used to roast me and stuff and start doing the haka out of nowhere. But that's another story. But yeah, I had no one to talk to, you know. And when you're in that space and you lay on your bed one day and you look at the ceiling and all you can ever think about is what's going wrong in your life, and you just don't have anyone to like let that go towards, you know, to relieve a bit of pressure off your shoulders. Like, it's not easy, man. It's not easy. So when that happens from other people and they DM me, I usually just say towards them, look, thank you so much. Like, it's a blessing that you've that my song has actually touched you. And at the end of the day, I just want to let you know that, you know, whatever problems that you ever go through, no matter how much you think you are alone, you're not. You know what I mean? So that's the main message I try to bring out when I reply towards them. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's so dope to hear coming from you, like, you know, because I feel like in your position or any artist, right? Like, there are people that look up to you, and there's a whole thing of people like, you know, I'm not a role model, don't look up to me. And I understand that because, you know, people don't want to be a role model. But at the same time, it's like, it's not your choice. If you decide to step up in this, take up space as a music artist, whether you like it or not, people are going to look up to you. You don't have a choice anymore. Like, whatever you do, good, bad, people are gonna look at that. And I feel for artists because I feel like they just want to make music. They don't want to be like that. They don't want to be that person that, you know. But it's just like, what can you do? You can't tell people to, you know. Because at the same time, you do need, if for somebody who wants to be a successful artist, you do need the following. You do need the views and the listens, all that kind of stuff. If you want to make it, right? Those are important. But yeah, man, I feel like that's probably. I used to have the argument with so many people all the time. I'm like, I'm not a role model. I'm like, Yeah, you are, bro. I know you don't want to. I know you don't want to, but it's not up to you. These people follow you regardless.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. But your actions, like whatever you do, man. No, I think like when it comes towards that whole role model stigma in music, especially, you know, I know there's so many like, you know, MCs and old cats, you know, that used to do a bit of rapping and have been in for like 12, 13 years, and then I see one person do one song and then, you know, blow up, and then they're just like, man, I did this, I did that, you know, like, but my sort of thing, my take towards it is just like, if you're going to be an artist that wants to be known as an icon, then you can't expect to, you know, be the one that has the blow up songs. You know what I mean? You've got to mold your craft. Like, you've got to make that statue of yourself, like perfection. You know what I mean? So, but if you compare yourself to the person that blew up overnight, like, you know, we all know like how that usually happens, you know? There's not really a massive length in the career that they want, because like you said before, they just want to make music. It's just a hobby. You know what I mean? And I'm not against that. Like, you feel the people that's your target audience, you know? So if you're making music just as a hobby and you want that sound, that club banger, or, you know, you're coming up with mumble rap, whatever it may be, you feel the people that love that audience, you know what I mean? But if you're a Joyner Lucas or an Eminem or a Dax or a Big Al, Big Pun, you know, all of them, and you're crafting your iconic moments, your crowd is going to be so much stronger than that crowd, right? Even though you have like ×5 less of what other people are getting as attention. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it. But everyone has their different views, right? Yeah. I can see a lot of people getting into debates about it, but that's how I see it.
You mentioned those artists. What artists were the ones that when you were coming up, you listened a lot to, you were inspired by?
There's a lot of artists I did a few research on. So I did a lot of research on Eminem, on his documentary and stuff like that. I thought that was crazy. Just like how he's turned his lifestyle around, and literally came from nothing, you know? And then I did a little bit of research into Lil Wayne, because I wasn't a fan of him. I was always wondering, like, why do people give this guy so much credit? Like, you know, this guy sounds shit, you know? Or this guy isn't what everyone thinks he is. And then I did my research into it, and then I found out that he has like 8 booths lined up, right? A different instrumental in every single booth, right? And then he freestyles in this booth, freestyles in this booth, freestyles in that booth, right? Takes a section from this booth, puts it onto the first song. Yeah, you know what I mean? And he mixes them around and then completes the song. And he goes, yo, on that instrumental, this is the song. Dum, 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 right? And that's the reason why when he goes to concerts, he doesn't even know his own lyrics. Yeah. He even said it himself. He's like, there was one time where we had a screen in front of me that had my own lyrics on it, and I didn't even know what the words were next. Like, it's crazy, bro. It's genius. But at the same time, there's so many different surroundings that influence in you being that way. You know what I mean? Drake, for example. Drake is a very calculated person. I sort of look at it this way. You look at Chris Brown. Touches something, turns to gold. And you look at Drake, anything he touches turns to gold, because he knows which one is gold. You get what I mean? So there's like the talent, and then there's the work ethic and calculation. You know what I mean? So I've done a lot of things that sort of crafted into what I wanted to do. A lot of my flow came from Biggie. I just like Biggie because it's just like effortless, you know? I came out with like this little like cold corner with the Bunsen burner. I fall smoother when I know I heard up a project, like, you know, like that type of stuff. And that was like when I was in science class, hated science, but but
man, Biggie, I don't even think he has one bad song.
Nah.
Like, dude was just...
He's wavy, bro. Or what we call wavy now. Like, that was the vibe, bro.
Yeah, he's dope. It's how every time there's always these GOAT conversations about who's a GOAT in rap. To me, Lil Wayne is one of the GOATs. Drake is already like one of the GOATs. Biggie, Pac, like Eminem. I think Eminem gets disrespected the most.
Yeah.
I always see people when they do like they're doing all their lists. They're always like, he's never included. He's like, everyone trashes him. I'm like, dude, he was the freaking man. Like,
I know. It's insane. Like, it's like, nah, he won't be in my top 5. It's just, I don't know how they come up with that. Like, you go top 5, and then 100% Eminem studied the dictionary. Like, you don't have any other rappers done that. You know what I mean? And then you got a song with Eminem called Rap God, where he does multiple different types of flows with the people that he credited the most. You know, Twista, all of that. Like, you know, I didn't get how people disrespect him like that, but it happens. You know?
Definitely one of my goats for sure. What about here in our own country? What artists do you enjoy listening to here?
Oh man, hands down, Lissy. Like, every time I listen to Lissy, any verse he's on, any track he features, like, everyone waits for that moment, you know. One of my favorite lines is when he's it was on I tell him you're dreaming. Say True God. Yeah, so Say True God.
That track is a freaking banger, bro.
Shout out to Say True God. Like, that guy responds to my messages and stuff, and he always gives me like a little bit of feedback.
Right.
Like, I appreciate when people have the limelight, but they still have the time to respond towards, you know, people that are trying to get to the same position, you know. So yeah, shout out to Say True God. But yeah, that one is like, I'll tell all your crew, like the Māori word for New Zealand.
Damn.
Filthy, bro. Like,
oh my gosh.
Like, bro. Even though it wasn't like Aotearoa, like everyone that's been to New Zealand knows that. Like, you just, when it came out with that, it's like, and then the Chilling It one is like, everybody will know that I'll be coming at him like a molecule.
Oh yeah.
That one.
Infinite, like that skill.
It's
I'm
like,
gonna talk about how I'm not real.
And then the whole Jada and Will Bark. Oh, crazy.
Crazy. He's up there, man.
Yeah,
he's in Melbourne right now. Him and
is he?
Yeah. I'll probably run into. I'm close to Lord Lance.
Yeah, nice.
And they're in Melbourne, so when I get back home tomorrow, I'll probably spend some time with those dudes over there. But definitely Lissy for sure. Every time I watch
Lord Lance's stories, man, I crack up.
He's funny.
It's just that one guy that you have in your group. It's just like you want him to come to the party that you're going to. It's gonna be the party, like that. That's how I imagine him there. I haven't met him in person. But
dude, he's one of my best mates. Met him through dance years ago, probably like 2005.
Yeah.
And now we're like real close, and I just love what he's doing. Like, he's created like this persona in the game where it's like people know him for what he does, you know, VI bars, like, you know, and now they expect that from him. So he's like a big deal now. It's like people want to hear, what stupid thing is he gonna say next? You know, and I think that's cool that he could create that, because he's not even serious about the game, like in terms of trying to be a rapper. He's like, I'm just doing this for fun. And then to see what he's doing with it, I think it is amazing too.
100%. I know there's so much development going into like his wordplay as well. Like he already was good at wordplay, but like he's just like up the level. I seen it on the snippers and unreleased. I was like, bro, this guy's got it, man. Like, you know, you got people wanting this to be their career and, you know, be the next international star. And you got this guy flawlessly just coming out with disses that make you second guess yourself if you're gonna diss him. Like, you know what I mean?
He's talented bunch, those boys. Him and his brother James, like, they literally anything they do, they're automatically good at. Like, I'm just like, what? Like, God just like gave him extra, you know, like
100%. But yeah, man.
But yeah, Lissy.
I put Cheeky. put Cheeky as a GOAT. I just think he's just in his own lane with the type of stuff he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, he's not someone that sticks to the same sort of genre. I felt like he killed it on the Sydney Youngins track. That was a dope track, but when he came in, it just like changed it, you know. But I just feel like he's in his own lane. Everyone that I put as a GOAT is just like someone that's in their own lane, created that lane, not necessarily first, but did it the best, you know. So I'll go with Flissy. I'll go with Cheeky. I'll go with Nerve. Have you heard of Nerve? Yeah. Nerve. His song with Reese's Pieces, and then the other one, like, wordplay is crazy. Obviously, chilling it. You know, a lot of recognition for him.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he's crazy too.
But Bally Boy and Young and Lips, like, that's a competition. Like, they're under the same label, but like, man, their craft similar but not. You know what I mean? Like, it's same but different. Like,
right.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm enjoying their music so far. The song that I told you that you haven't reacted to, Family is crazy. Shout out to Audi P as well, R68. He's got some crazy songs that haven't been released yet, so yeah.
Nice. What's your take on, because in a way, it seems like, I feel like the music is competition. Yeah. Just like how, you know, you're in sports, you're competing with each other. I feel like it's the same with music. Yeah. Because everyone's after, but at the same time, I think everybody can shine in their own lane. But I feel like it's healthy competition. Where like sure. Everyone's pushing each other to get to their best. Yeah. Do you see that as a music artist yourself? Do you see that happening? Yeah. Or is this just something I'm making up?
No, I see that happening now. I think in the recent months there's been a lot of versatility that's been added towards the scene. You know what I mean? So obviously the scene opened up with drill. I think there's a bit of G-Funk that, you know, popped it off as well. And, you know, just classic hip hop. But when, you know, that wave, you know, started becoming like filtered a lot, you know, there was a lot of versatility that came after that, like, you know, and it is very, very healthy competition, especially when, you know, the people that do similar music are like best mates, you know what I mean? They're just like, yo, I'll acknowledge this guy's music. Like, no one's afraid to shout anyone out, you know? So, yeah, man. It's really, really good for the scene. You know, it's something like, I remember when I was growing up, when I was younger, New Zealand, you know, with rapping and all of that, was always based, you know, off the American thing. But, you know, Australia, with the accent and stuff, I know Cursor came into the game pretty early, and Hilltop Hoods and all of that. But it's molded, and the beautiful thing is that, you know, I don't know about anyone else, but I feel like Polynesians are the face of Australian music right now.
100%.
And like, I don't know anyone that would disagree or anything like that, but man, you know, there's so many different artists that are coming through, and I love it, man. I love it. Like, you know, it's just more opportunity to make collaborations, and also more opportunity to be like, you know what that guy did over there, that's something I've always wanted, you know, to craft myself. So I do my own version, you know, and that's the only way we're gonna elevate, man. I just hope for the scene that, you know, everyone comes together and goes like, nah, let's make it together, you know. But it is what it is, you know. There is a lot of people that will look at the sort of greedy side of it, but that's how they want to go about it, and that's it, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Imagine, bro. Just imagine what we could do if all our poly artists just like, you know what, let's take this whole damn thing over. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, man. Like, I'm pretty sure Australia consists of like at least 10% of Polynesians. You know what I mean? And that's a massive number. You know what I mean? So like people always go like, oh, it's our own people hating on our own people and stuff like that. And there's so many cases where that's true. But then at the end of the day, they only get the limelight of hating Because there's not enough people saying not to hate. Do you get what I mean? There's so many people that will look at that comment and then be like just mute, you know? Like, but if we had the same amount of people talking about our own people hating on our own people, but we had a number of people that whenever a comment came up and it was just like, you know, that belittled that person in the video clip trying to shine, you know, or on the come up. Everyone knows these on the come up. And then they had 4 replies saying, "Come on, man, we're all in this together, man. The goal is to make it to the top. If I play my part now, like you play your part too, you know." If we had more people like that, game over, bro. We're already doing international collaborations with only half of half of Polynesians backing our music, you know.
Yeah. As an artist, and I think about this often with music artists, you know, they put everything into their music. Yeah. Right? They put it out there for the world to see. They don't know how the world's going to react to it. Yeah. You know, whether they're going to like it, whether they're going to hate it. And like you were saying, the fingers start going. Yeah. And they start typing hateful stuff. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. I think I grew out of thinking about other people's opinions at a very early age, and I'm like grateful for that, you know. Most of my hardest years was from 18 to 20. I'm 23 at the moment. From 23, there was one point in my life where I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna look for reassurance from other people to justify what I want to do. You know what I mean? So when it comes towards hate, or I get, you know, message requests saying, you know, blah blah blah, like, you know, you're trash in your music. There's so many funny ones there. If like whenever I get drunk or something, like if I'm having a drink with the boys and stuff, I just pull out my message request and be like, oh, look at this message, bro. It's funny as, and then and they're all off like accounts that have no profile pictures. So me and the boys have a bit of a laugh. I share my missus sometimes, and then she'll just like crack up laughing and then use it against me in an argument, but that's another story. But yeah, man, with the hate that I get, I just basically ignore it, man. I stick to my own craft, but I make sure with every single song now that I'm 100% confident in the production of it. And what most people don't understand, especially the ones that hate on people's music, the video is not cheap. You know what I mean? Like, anyone can cap it and be like, oh, I'll make this money and whatever. Right? $1,500 to $2,000 for one video, you know, to get done properly. That's what it is, you know. And then you go to the production part of it, you're looking at about $150 a session. You know what I mean? 2 hours or whatever it may be. Sometimes you need a producer that wants to work with you. You have a lot of producers that don't even want to work. They just do the mix and mastering, say, okay, yeah, sweet. You take the master out, you're not happy with it, you can't change it, you have to pay more money. You know what I mean? Marketing side of it, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, especially if you're an independent artist, like, you've got to take in consideration that it's much more deeper to trust in your belief that it doesn't matter about what the audience says, especially when you put that amount of money, time and effort into it, you know. And that helps me when I go, yeah, I did this, I can't go back on it now. You know, we did the video shoot, we did day 1, day 2, we've got the behind the scenes, all of that. I'm happy with it. I'll drop the video, I won't even look at the comments, like, I didn't even pay attention towards it. I'll probably look at it in the next 3 weeks or something like that, see how it's going. And if it does bad, then I'll be like, okay, sweet, what can we do better, you know? So that's how I usually deal with it, man. But majority of the people that like show a lot of hate towards me are just like fake profiles, so I don't really take it serious, right. You know.
Yeah, no, that's it's yeah. I kind of like the same way where it's like, if I was to post a video about my opinion on something, it's like, I know there's gonna be people that are gonna disagree with it. Also, there's gonna be people that, you know, love what I'm saying. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like, you just have to accept that there's gonna be both. Yeah. And like, you know, how do you want to react to it? Yeah. Like, do you want to meet negative energy with negative energy? Yeah. Or do you want to like, you know, try to figure out react to it in a positive way, where it's like, oh, cool, thanks, blah, blah, blah. Or even ignore them. Like, I do the same thing too, where I'll just like won't even look at comments. Until like maybe the next day or something. But you know, the online stuff is a real thing, man. Like,
bro, crazy thing, man. That stuffed me up when I was younger too, bro. Like when I was on MSN and then I get exposed to the real person is like the dial-up. Oh, but yeah, man, social media is a fool, bro. It honestly is. But nowadays, that's what I say to like people that are starting off with music. Like, your music's not gonna market yourself anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to market your music if you believe that you want it to get somewhere. And if you're not marketing it, then don't expect it to pop off. You know, you got to put yourself in the right position. You know, like one of the motivational videos I ever watched, they were like, you know. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity than to get an opportunity and not be prepared. You know what I mean? So I always look at that sort of mindset and extending growth and engagement and stuff. So, but yeah, if you mess with my music, you mess with my music. If you don't, then there's the unfollow button.
It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone, man. A lot of things. Another one thing that actually helped me out with the type of criticism was that 1,000 thing. You heard of that 1,000 fan thing? You have 1,000 fans that are literally willing to do anything, you know, pay for a concert ticket and stuff like that. You have 1,000 times $100, 100,000. Yeah. So I always look at that. So when it comes to social media and followers and stuff, don't really pay attention towards it. I just go, okay, so in my head right now, I've got 10 people that I know would fly, you know, from wherever they are to attend a concert, wherever I am. You know what I mean? Okay, so I gotta work on the next five people. And I know it's not gonna come in like, you know, the next 2 months and stuff like that, but the people I know that give my music, you know, criticism, like from a point of trying to better myself. You know what I mean? When I know they have good intentions or they've been like a follower since day one, then I just put them in the category of, I'll prioritize responding to these guys. And then, work on the others. Man.
Always work. Like, I see artists always constantly trying to put themselves out there. And sometimes, if you gotta be annoying, you're just gonna have to be annoying because that's how you stay in people's faces. You know? Like, I think that's the key thing is to just always be, you know, everyone's scrolling, but if you're always in their face, they can't forget you. You know? If they get so pissed off, they'll have to unfollow you. Right? They're just gonna have to see it, and then you know. So I respect the hustle, you know, with all these artists and trying to put themselves out there. Upcoming artists, if you were to like what you know now, you know, as an artist and how you came up. What kind of advice would you give those guys?
The advice I would give to an upcoming artist is make sure you're certain with the career you want to take. Like before you jump into it, like it's not gonna be a jump of a leap of faith. You know what I mean? See how it goes. Like it's never gonna work like that. You jump like a leap of faith, see how it goes. Like you're not gonna get the right intentions how to properly, you know, have yourself viewed, you know. So I think my best advice is make sure you keep working at 9 to 5. Like a lot of people go to me, it's like, oh, you're a musician now, this, that, like, how come you're still working? And I'm like, right. Like just because you have a video and the video's quality and it's on YouTube does not mean it pays the bills. Like keep your 9 to 5. If you need to work 2-3 jobs and you're an independent artist to pay for the things that you need to do, work those 2-3 jobs. With your craft, you got to make sure that it's not something you get sick of or you get frustrated over. So there's a lot of people that I know of that tried the music game and they forced themselves pretty much to be a rapper because being a rapper was the next big thing. You know what I mean? And it didn't work out for them. And it didn't work out for them because that genuinely isn't their passion. You know,
never works.
They seen people doing on thing, they did alright, and they're like, oh yeah, I can do that, I can do that. You know, it doesn't work like that. The music myself, I started writing when I was 13, but when I was 17, going through struggles and stuff like that, I'd make a song. I'd make about 4 songs a day. So I'd be like writing from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning, and then I'll go to sleep. I'll sometimes have my brother-in-law walk out, because I used to live with him and stuff, and he'll walk out and be like, "What's you still up?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, just making a song." It's like, you don't even have a producer, like, you know what I mean? It's like, you gotta record on your phone or something. It's like, but yeah, that would be my biggest advice. You know, if you're gonna come into the music game, be certain to come into the music game. Second thing is, make sure that you have the financial background for what you want to do. If you have a label that picks you up for the talent that you have, sweet. Make sure you're in control of what you do, though. You know, and not only that, enjoy the process. Be passionate about the process. There's gonna be times where you have mind blanks. There's gonna be times where you go, oh, you know, should I do that? But always remember why you started. If you started because of passion, it's gonna be easy to come back on the road that you were, you know. But if you didn't start because of passion, it's going to be difficult. But there's a lot of people finessing it at the moment that didn't start because of passion. So, but yeah, that's my biggest advice, man.
I think it's important to hear. You know, like people who came before us. You know, they're the ones that have that experience of, you know, going through stuff, trying to make it somewhere, and so, you know, these young ones coming up, it's kind of easier because the information is right there for them now. Back in the day, people would have to struggle hard, you know, and people still struggle now. But I think there's more like experiences that people can draw on because people had gone through it already. Yeah, if that makes sense. But because there's a lot of like you're saying, like our Polynesians represent. Probably the face is the face of music rap right now in Australia. Definitely. Man. And because of that, now people are getting like what you're saying. Oh, I think I could be a rapper now. Yeah. And then I think that's cool. But then, like you're saying, they'll quickly get found out if they're about this or not. You know what I mean? But it's still cool to see people getting inspired. Yeah, 100%. You know.
If you have the money for a ghostwriter or, you know, someone, if you have the money, go for it. Like
he's one of the best writers out there. Yeah. You need a ghostwriter. No,
I'm like a little voice come through quick. But yeah, 100%. It already happened. You know what I mean? Like when the scene popped off, and you know, a lot of doors and opportunities were opening up. Like. A lot of my mates just gave it a go, and it's like,
well, I remember
you should have kept it at home, mate. It was like,
yeah, I remember. So my cousin Melbourne, he does this, but I remember when he first came out, he literally like called everybody out, and there were rappers just out of nowhere, just boom, 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 responding to him. I don't see any of them in the game at all. Like there's probably like 5 of them still here, and I'm just like, every time I see him, I always ask him like, Sole, remember that time and all these rappers came out of nowhere? I'm like, Sole, where are they now? Yeah, well, I only know a few. I only know a few that responded to Melbourne. And I remember because I was a massive fan. I still am a good fan of it. Yeah. But I loved his music back in the day because that my relatable shit. You know, I do like it's similar, but he did it. He literally carried like Australia on his back. Like I don't know, people will criticize what I say about that, but man, he did. Like you know, Melbourne. I remember Denal Lewis and Kenyon Brown sort of getting in the scene around that age with Lazy J and stuff. That was the sort of era, you know. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Claria, the boss, replied to Melbourne. She's doing decent in the music at the moment. She's doing good. Yeah, she's got flow, man. Her and Aga, I reckon, the queen of rap at the moment. Mm-hmm. Queens of rap at the moment. And then you had what's his name?
Oh, CG Fez.
Oh yeah, he was. I like his response.
Yeah,
too.
he had a response to Melvin, and like the boys are, you know, in Sydney, they were backing it. I'm not too. I think Amu
had crazy bars on his too.
All the other ones, like nowhere to be found.
It's like, yeah, where are you guys now? You know what I mean? Like, they found out really quick that this wasn't their passion.
Yeah, they were like, what the? Well, it's crazy.
They should thank the Uso Melbourne. You know, he helped them. You know, he helped them find out that this wasn't.
So yeah, just stick to your 9 to 5 moves. No, but man, even like the amount of hate he was getting when he first, you know, I couldn't understand it. Like even back then, I wasn't even a part of the scene. Like I said, like I was just writing. I didn't even think twice about going into it because footy was a massive thing. But I knew he put out like 3 songs I really liked, and he had an interview. I don't know whether it was in New Zealand or it was here in Australia, but I remember he had an interview and he was explaining. He's like, "Oh, I didn't understand," you know, like I didn't see what was wrong. I know he called out other people, but I didn't see what was wrong to try and put Melvin, you know, on his back. Like there was no one else doing it, you know? So yeah, it's a hard topic, like for me to try and get my head around because majority of, you know, people are trying to bring him down and stuff. Like I said, like Polynesian. So, but man, love this music.
He's a very driven guy, stubborn too, like to the point where, you know, he doesn't care what anybody says. You know, like all those people telling him to quit and like death threats, all these things, and he's just like stubborn as hell. Like I don't care what you guys say. You know, so it's good. It's good for him. I think people are starting to come back around. You know, like he's starting to do his thing, which is dope too. But yeah, man.
What's your favorite song of Melvin's?
Oof, that's a tough one. Cause I like all of them. I like Proper that just came out.
Yeah, Proper.
Side Bitch was nice too.
Yeah. The instrumental for Side Bitch, crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like one of those ones you can't like stop your head from nodding. Like, you know what I mean? You listen to it, it's like oh my god.
Yeah, there are a couple others too. I used to be in his film clips back in the day.
Oh, true.
Yeah, if you get to the old videos, you catch me in a few of them. But I think they also fired me though.
Oh no way!
Also, put me back in also. I just never available now. But yeah, man, so much dope artists. It's amazing for me, bro, because I'm a fan. You know, I'm a fan of you. I'm a fan of all these guys, and I have so much respect for the work that you guys put in. And that's why I started reacting, like doing reaction videos. Because it's not my thing. I'm not a reaction guy. But because I love the music game so much, I just thought I'll just add on to like what these guys are doing, you know? And I see that, you know, when I'm reacting to it in real time, I'm watching the video, I'm listening, I'm like, man, these guys put in so much work. And you know, I just hope that people see that because it's not easy, bro.
Well, that's the thing, like when I reached out to you the first time, it was because of the reaction. Like all the reaction videos, I always love watching them. Like even if I got like bad criticism, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna take from it. But your one stood out because it was so like detailed in explanation, and it was like if someone was watching that reaction video, they'd be like, oh. And like, let's say that person that was watching your reaction video had never ever experienced like suicide, suicide thoughts or depression or anxiety. When they would watch that reaction, they'd be like, oh, I get it now. Do you get what I mean? And that's what I liked about it so much. Like you always have reactors that talk about, you know, the music, you know, how the background, the instrumental, but you never really have reactors talk about, oh yeah, you know why he has this part? Is because that's the stereotypical dad, Polynesian dad coming back from work. Do you get what I mean? Like it's very, and I don't blame reactors. I'm not doing it that way. Like that's how they want to do it. But yeah, that was one thing that stood out for me because I was just like, I just need a reactor to react like that, you know. And then when you came through, I was like, bro, this guy sounds genuine as. So
I appreciate that, man.
Here we are.
yeah. Now we're here. I think for me, it's like I want to be different to the other reactors.
Yeah.
And so I did have a look at it when I first decided to do it. I did look at a lot of them, like Diamond Reacts, Just Melee. There's a ton of us out there. It was crazy because when I started podcasting, I didn't realize how much podcasting people are out there. Now we're like this one big family, podcasting family. Same with reacting. Now we're like all the reactors, like we're all best friends now. But I just want to like add a different style of reacting, you know.
Well, that's the thing. Like with podcasting, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, how's that gonna work, you know? And then, but I always like kept updated with a guy named Gary V.
He's the man,
He's the man, bro. He's the man. He's pretty straight up as well. It's like the auntie that has no filter. But the auntie at the meetings that doesn't care if she says like. But yeah, man. And then he started talking about podcasting. It's like there is a massive opportunity to make a bit of money in that way, engagement in that way, being able to grow your socials and stuff. So yeah, man, crazy.
That's done. Alright, my man. I'll give you last word. I'll let you go. You got any last things you want to say to your fans, whoever?
Yo, I just want to make a massive shout out to my mom.
That's it.
My mom's my biggest supporter. Always been my supporter since day one. Even when she didn't agree with the career change that I wanted to make. But a massive shout out towards the upcoming artists. Massive shout out towards those, you know, that are pursuing their careers as well and watching this. That's pretty much it. But thank you, Mr. MVP, baby.
It was good to finally meet you.
Yeah.
And you got a new track coming soon, right?
Yeah, I got a new track coming in about 4 weeks' time. So in the mid of May, end of May, should be dropping soon. And if you need any multi-tips, don't hit me up.
Alright, man. That's it. We out.